13th of June today. Bit of a different video. I suppose it is a rambling video, but the reason it's different is because it's sort of something I want to try. I've been wanting to do one of these for a while, and I suppose I have been doing them, but I've just been doing them on specific subjects, whether it be the UFC, football, basketball, anything like that. Just rambling on about certain subjects. I feel this is going to be probably a bit more free. I've not got a subject in mind to talk about right now. Just went on my phone, pressed record, plugged in my microphone, and just started talking away. So I want to make a podcast. Why do I want to make a podcast? I don't know. I just feel sometimes it's healthy for you to talk, even if no one's there, if there's no response, just to talk. Maybe get stuff off your chest, maybe talk your mind away, maybe sometimes you can talk stuff, you can say something and subconsciously you can bring yourself to an answer to maybe a question you've been thinking about. Maybe you can enlighten others, maybe not, maybe this is for nothing, but this is something I've wanted to do, and I wanted to do it I've been wanting to do it with guests. I've got mates that who I care about so much, and a lot. They're just they're wonderful people. In one of my earlier series, Skyriming with Friends, I had a mate on there who I called Slavic Magic, Mateusz Slizowski. One of my best mates. Really helped me through a lot of tough situations. Really good guy. Whenever something bad happened to me, I'd message him and he was like, right, don't do anything, just wait there, I'll call you as soon as I can. That type of guy. And you need people like that in your life, and these people are funny, they're interesting people with a lot of interesting opinions, and a lot of the times I'll have friends that are completely different ends of the spectrum. So I might have a friend who's more one side and one person that's another side of an opinion, but they're both very decent people, and it's very interesting to hear. And I think it's very, I think you can be very I don't want to say humbled, enlightened to have people on different ends of the spectrum, because I feel like if your friend group, which I understand if you have a friend group that perhaps maybe a lot of them think of one opinion, maybe political, maybe on just a very simple subject, and I feel like if you have all friends who think the exact same way about something, I feel like you can maybe drag yourself towards an opinion that perhaps you haven't thought about yourself, but you're just following the flow. And I think that could be very important to get different people with different aspects, so you can come up with an opinion yourself. But I think the main thing is, and I think that people have lost this a lot today, is I think I know we're in a society that condemns people that doesn't think the way that perhaps maybe a majority would think, for example. And this is a very uncomfortable situation to talk about, but for example, if some people think that I've got people who have been close to me in the past, and I still consider dear friends, and even if they cursed me out and said they'd never respect me again, for everything they've done for me in my life, they'd always be my brothers, in that regard. And some people, they think, yeah, looting, that's, of course people are looting. I respect the people that are looting, because it's it's a big fuck you to the man that's been causing us pain for so many years. And I understand why people would think like that. I understand. I think that's a big word that's often not used enough, is understanding. I feel a lot of people don't understand people nowadays. Even if it's a wrong opinion. For example, if someone's a racist, I feel a lot of people don't understand why they're racist. And I feel that I feel like it's wrong to accept a racist view. So if you are a racist, if you fully back the idea of being a superior race and that your race is better than anyone else's, I believe 100% you're wrong, and I feel like you should be criticised and condemned for what you feel. But I feel like just to 100% demonise someone for their thoughts is very immature, and it's very backwards thinking. I feel like a lot of the time people on either ends of the spectrum are often misunderstood, and that's why there's so much conflict. There's one side and another side, and they're just constantly conflicting each other. And it's often a lot of name calling and stuff like that. But like for example, you might think, why is someone racist? Well, maybe their family was racist and maybe they were brought up that way. Does that give them a pass? No. It doesn't give them a pass. But I understand that there is an origin there. There is a reason why that happened. This is still a human being. It's just a human being that's very misguided. That's got the wrong idea. And John Boyega, when he said, if you're racist, go fuck yourself. Yeah, he's right. If you're racist, go fuck yourself. That's correct. That's not what I'm saying, that being racist is acceptable in any way and that you should have any sympathy towards them. You shouldn't have sympathy, but there needs to be understanding. Like, if someone holds a member of my family at gunpoint and you say, right, I'm gonna give you this button, okay, and if you don't press this button and kill this school full of children, I'm gonna blow your mum's head out, your mum's brain. How many of you are pressing that button? Honestly, how many of you are pressing that button? For me, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do in that situation. But I'll tell you what the wrong decision is to press that button. We all know what the wrong decision is to press that button. You lose a family member, which is horrible. But killing hundreds of children, is obviously the wrong thing to do. And if you were to do it, I think you should be condemned for what you did. And I think you should be... you shouldn't have any sympathy in that situation. Of course that's in that situation, perhaps many would give you sympathy, but I believe you shouldn't. I believe you should... I think you just made a selfish decision in that situation for your family member. And is it selfish because it's someone else? Yes, because that person means something to you. That person meant something to you. It might not be because if you were just basing it off of, if you took your feelings out of it, you're letting them kill your family member. If you had no feelings towards that family member. Because, to take one life rather than hundreds. So I believe that person should be condemned. But I understand why they did it. There's an understanding there. There's an understanding why they're different. And yes, there's that thing of comparing one thing to an extreme, but I feel the same ideals still apply. I feel you need to have understanding as to why people think that way. I understand why Hitler was Hitler. It's not right. He shouldn't be applauded. He shouldn't have sympathy. He should be condemned, and I hope to God he's in hell for what he did to millions of people. But I understand. So if there's one bit of advice I could bring to you, and you're probably sitting there thinking, who the fuck are you? What the fuck do you know? Nothing. But I feel like maybe I can give you something different to think about. A lot of the time I feel people don't think outside of the box. They don't think, why does that person think that way? They just think, it's just because he's an idiot. And they almost put a wall up between them. They put a wall up of, it's just an idiot. Let's just put him in that box. It's laziness. A lot of people are good people with misunderstood views. Like, for example, if someone was... someone robbed banks. He robbed banks. He killed security guards who are in his way. But that kid is poor and he's starving. Here you go. Here's some money. Go get yourself some food for your family. Does it mean that robbing is right? No. They just have a misunderstood way of doing it. Some people just survive, some people want to get a better way of life. So, like I said, if there's one thing I take away from this, even if you don't care what I say, maybe just try to understand each other a bit more. Understand. Not sympathise. Sympathise when it's appropriate. Not forgive when it's appropriate, but always understand. Understanding it'll make you see things that perhaps before, it'll make you a lot less angry about the world. I remember I've been on both ends of the spectrum politically and just in life. I've been on one end where I've been too politically correct, and on the complete other side where I'm completely just fucking trans people, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's ridiculous. Like, now I feel like I've experienced both, and as I've grown up, and I'm only 23, so I've still got so much room to grow as a person, and just how my thoughts gather as I grow further into a man. I feel more centered. I feel it's very important to be centered, because I feel I feel like it's almost like a seesaw. It's like, you know, if you sit on either side, it's just going to tip one way, but if you sit in the middle, it'll be fine, it'll stay up straight. And I feel like that's where we need to be straight. A lot of people tip towards this side, and then some people a little bit more tips towards this side, and I think that's human. I do that definitely today. I definitely go too far left and too far right sometimes. That's human nature. But I try and see things a bit more evenly, and that's not to say I'm right all the time, but I try and answer a question I try to answer a problem, perhaps, or a question or an ideology of thinking, and I think I approach this situation more in a way that I've evaluated multiple situations, rather than thinking of one side rather than the other. So I feel like if a situation appears itself where there's a moral dilemma, I don't think, okay, I'm this side, I'm in this group, so I think this group. I think I want to think for me, and I want to think what I think is right. And I think that it's good to think what you think is right, whether it's left or right. But I feel you need to understand people. Understand people a lot easier, a lot better than perhaps you were before. What the fuck do I know though? But there's a lot of hurt out there. There's a lot of people hurting, a lot of people in pain, a lot of people feeling betrayed, a lot of people feeling undervalued. Everyone has their role in their life, whether it's for yourself, for someone else, for society, whatever that is. You've got to find that out yourself through your life experiences. I've not found my role yet. I've not. There are many people who are still in their old ages that perhaps haven't found their role out, and perhaps won't until their deathbed. We all have a role to play. But that's just my thoughts, what I've been thinking at the moment, because of course we got the Black Lives Matter movement, we've got coronavirus going on right now, we've got a lot of people shouting at each other and not many people listening. There's a lot of scaremongering, and I feel these words are perhaps thrown out a lot, and I feel it's said a lot, but I feel that people don't listen. I think that's the problem. I think we all know what the right thing is to do, but we're still all scared of, the consequences of following the wrong path on both actions. Follow the wrong path of Black Lives Matter, you can be a bigot. Follow the wrong path of coronavirus, you can get corona, or you can be made out to be overzealous, overexcited about a subject that perhaps wasn't as big as you first thought, which is not what I'm suggesting for either of these situations in the slightest. But that's that's I think the reason people are so angry and scared, and being stuck in a lot of the time while this lockdown has been happening has not helped people mentally. You know, I've not seen the numbers, but there have been suicides because of self-isolation. There's no doubt. Even if there was no stats out there, I know there definitely is. I've seen stats about people. I don't remember what they were, but even if I hadn't seen the stats, I'd have known that there are some lost souls out there. And even if you don't believe in souls or whatever, I don't particularly believe in souls. It's just a term of speaking for people who are lost out there and really can't physically put themselves into the right frame of mind to deal with life, because life is it's very cruel but rewarding. It's very it can bring you a lot of moments what are fantastic and what make you feel incredible, getting the new thing, you know, meeting that somebody who makes everything feel better, adding a new member to the family, baby, an animal, whatever you do, making that first purchase towards the house, paying rent. Paying rent's beautiful. Love paying rent. You know, getting that first job, but then, you know, you got the other stuff, losing a job, mental health, shitty situations, death, poverty, anger. So it's very cruel but very rewarding in places, and a lot of people can't deal with perhaps the cruelness of it, and that doesn't make them weak in the slightest. Some people just are different, and sometimes I can't deal with life. I feel everyone has that point where sometimes life just gets the better of them, and sometimes it could be a beautiful day. It could be sunny, birds chirping, grass looking real green. You know, you have a cold drink next to you, and still sometimes you can feel shit. That's just life. And you know, I've had experiences where I'm not saying that woe was me, I'm fucking, everyone feels sad for me, give me my attention, it's not like that in the slightest. Not in the slightest. But I've had situations, same as everyone, where stuff has happened to me and I've not been able to deal with it, or I've not been able to cope mentally or stuff, or maybe it's something that hasn't even happened but it's just in your head. A lot of people live in their head, and I'm very, even today, even right now, I'm very susceptible to staying indoors, cluttered household, cluttered mind. You know, I'm still in that mindset a lot of the time, and it makes you feel depressed. And there's a lot of depression going around at the moment, especially with the stuff going on in the world. You know, I can't really give advice to someone who's severely depressed, and this wasn't meant to be an advice thing, an advice podcast. It's just meant to be roll and see what's happening, and well, this has turned out to be fucking depressing. But if I was don't listen to me seriously, because you could do more harm than good. The one advice I will give you that is serious, and if you are suicidal or anything like that, seek help from anyone positive, whether it be a friend, a family member, just professional help, whatever you feel you need. You know, a lot of the time it doesn't work to exercise, to do stuff, but sometimes they can help, stuff like that. Everyone has their own way of getting over stuff, so you've got to find your own path in that regard. But if I was to give advice to anyone who's depressed, try and, if it's in your mind and you're by yourself, try and do something to get your mind off it. Even if it's playing a stupid game on your phone, like a Candy Crush, a time waster, like a I don't know, a game that you just isn't particularly gonna make you angry, but a game that's just gonna, you know, chill you out. Or go out for a walk, have a bath, you know. Just try stuff to get your mind off. You know, I wouldn't suggest eating or stuff like that unless you're hungry, because that can lead down a path of, well, what I've led to, Big Boy James, or what I've got. No, I'm not saying I'm fat because of sadness. I'm fat because I like food. that's not related in the slightest. At least I hope not. I don't think it is. But you never know. Yeah. You know, it's difficult to give advice out there. The best advice I could give you is seek out people who are close to you, who are positive. Try not to seek out negative people. Yeah, that's just random thoughts of today, of the negative stuff. I mean, if we're looking at positive stuff, I'm playing NBA a lot. I mean, I've got it on my screen right now. Playing as a point guard for the Utah Jazz because I felt like they needed a point guard. I'm a guy called Shea Lavelle, spelled a capital L, lowercase e, capital V-E-L-L. And I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. I never knew how good career mode is, and it just makes me wish that FIFA was owned by 2K and not EA. They'll never give up. I mean, I watched that Angry Joe video, and he was like, fuck, like constantly saying fuck because Madden was like owned by EA, but like he can't seriously think that it was going to change. In all seriousness, like, and I love Angry Joe, but in all seriousness, did you ever think that EA was going to let 2K take NBA? No chance. They earn billions a month on Ultimate Team, on MUT and FUT. MUT being Madden Ultimate Team, FUT being FIFA Ultimate Team. They earn fucking P, okay? They earn mega P. I know, so I just did my hand like Donald Trump. If you want to know, okay, EA will never give up Madden. Okay, EA do tremendous job, absolutely tremendous, fantastic job. They make billions a month. Is incredible. Great people, EA. Right, I know that's a shit. I think it's all, you know, I'll say it's shit, but I think, you know, some parts of my Trump is alright. But, you know, there's no way that fucking EA was giving up Madden or FIFA, they make too much money. I think the message after, where he said, you know, people have got to stop buying the game, got to stop spending, which, yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. But the problem is I feel a lot of the games community, especially people like Boogie, Angry Joe, you know, that they look at the sports community and they go, why don't you just stop? Why don't you just stop? What they don't realise is a lot of the time, if Angry Joe doesn't like this shooter game, he can move on to a shooter game he prefers. If Angry Joe doesn't like this venture game, he can move on to this game. What the sports community got? You know, I'm a big fan of football. I want to play a game about football. I ain't playing Pro Evolution, it fucking sucks. Even if I think FIFA sucks, it's not as bad as Pro Evolution. Nowhere near. You know, licensing is important to a lot of fans to bring authenticity. A lot of sports fans love the authenticity of sports games, and I feel, you know, they've got nowhere to go, and that's why the market is so divided, because they've got licensing for those types of things. You know, if there was perhaps if it was a case of NBA where you're like, right, fuck EA, we're giving it to 2K. If 2K had, if you had FIFA 2K21 and EA Sports FIFA 2001, then I'd understand. You'd be like, why are you doing this when you can switch to this? You know, you'd have a choice then. But a lot of the time we haven't got that choice. We got PES. Like I said, PES fucking sucks. And what about Madden, which is the main point of that video? What's Madden got? Nothing. They've got EA Sports. So people aren't gonna just not buy the game because this is all they've got. And you know, it fucking sucks. But that's just the way it is. And I don't think there's a way you can change that. Get enough people to bandwagon behind, you know, perhaps not spending money on it. That might be a strategy. You know, yeah, if you're going to buy the game, try not to buy MUT points if you can, because it's just, they're too fucking greedy. But, you know, they're still going to make too much money. You know, but telling people, you know, don't buy this shit, it's not going to work. Not going to work. And I love Angry Joe. Angry Joe is one of my favourite YouTubers of all time. But I felt that video was a bit weird. How he was saying about, you know, fuck. They've got it. They got mad again. I mean, was there any chance they weren't? Anyway, that's just besides the point. But you know, 2K do a good job with NBA. There's a lot of things they need to update though. But you know, I'm so thankful as a fan of NBA because of what I've experienced with EA with FIFA. FIFA career mode is fucking dog shit, and it's been dog shit for years, and all the fans know it's dog shit. And a lot of the time I go on Twitter and I'll see EA post something and I'll just see like 50,000 comments of people saying, fix your game, you're fucking trash, fuck you. And you know, if I'm fucking EA, I don't want to deal with that. Fuck those people, you know. So I feel like you don't need to be that toxic about it. But people will be, because they're angry. But I'm thankful for 2K, and even people get mad with 2K because they don't update a lot. I mean, my team, I wish that there was a, you know, the thing is, my team have got a separate thing where you can just take over one team, and it's almost like you're taking over that team, and that's my GM. But my GM I really don't like. I don't like the point system. I don't like the way that you have to gain everyone's trust. I wish they had a coach mode where you could create your coach and you could take over the team, and you can make all the trades and that. But my team can seem very cheaty. You can force wins, you can do stuff, and it doesn't seem like a challenge. I wish it was a bit more of a challenge to get players in and stuff like that. You know, like if I have a player and he's got good value, I could just win a championship in a season. It's not that hard to win a championship in the season. If I got 3 or 4 young players with good potential, some first round picks and a superstar, I could get 5 all-star caliber players, with relatively no issue. Because you can trade stuff like, you know, a crap player and like 3 second round picks for a first round pick, and that first round pick will be really good, like a top 3. So there's a lot of things wrong with that game still, but it's still better than FIFA and how they do it. Apologies for that. Dr. Pepper Zero, really good. I don't really taste the difference. I mean, in terms of Dr. Pepper Zero and Dr. Pepper, I taste the difference between the two much less than I do with Pepsi and Pepsi Max, or Coke and Coke Zero. You know, it's really good, really good. Got my mini fridge back there as well, so it's all nice and cool. And I got some water bottles in there as well. So before people get really angry with me and going, oh, it's fizzy, got my Dr. Pepper Zero here, and I've got all my waters in the mini fridge over there, which you can't see. But I hope everyone's having a lovely day. I'm hoping you have a fantastic day, and you're all enjoying yourselves and as much as you can. You know, and you know, I'm sure a lot of people feel like this, but I've had a real craving of going abroad, which is such a stupid thing because everyone would love to right now. But I've been feeling it really bad because I've made plans like 5 times to go abroad, and it's just always fallen through, whether someone can't make it or just situations change in life where you can't do it. But you know, the only place I've been to outside of England is Wales, and I went there for like a day. I've never been to Scotland or Northern Ireland or Ireland. Never been outside it. I want to go, you know, I want to go somewhere. I feel like I'm missing out on a lot. I'm missing out on a lot of experiences, and I think experiences are important for character. I feel like sometimes you need to experience, like for example, if you're an overprotective person and you've got a child, a partner, someone, and you stop them from doing stuff, sometimes you have to stop them from doing stuff because sometimes the situation is so dire that if you let them do that, then, you know, it's Ricky Gervais said it perfectly when they had the podcast with Carl Pilkington, and they said and they asked Carl what would he do if he had a baby, and he said let it roam about, and then Carl said you know, I think Carl made a good point. He said, you know, sometimes the kids need to make mistakes to make life to make bad decisions in life to make them better. But Ricky pointed out sometimes there are situations where, you know, you can't let the baby experience things from mistakes, you know. certain mistakes you can't let them experience life over. Like, is the fire really hot? You know, what happens if I put a fork in a plug socket? You know, stuff like that. I understand, but you know, if you got a child and you know they've got friends and stuff like that, and people that are going off and doing stuff. I understand certain stuff. You know, if you got but if you're keeping them home all the time, it's so damaging to them. You know, it's so damaging. Because a lot of the time, because what happens is if you keep someone sheltered for too long, what happens is they end up becoming unaware. For example, and this is just something that's happened to me. I have been sheltered relatively poorly, in my opinion. And that's not saying that my parents did a bad job. They haven't. They've done a fantastic job with all of us. But in that particular situation, I feel they did not do the best they could do for our interests. At the time, it seems like the best thing to do. But the problem is that now it comes to the point where if I'm in a bad situation, I wouldn't know how to deal with it. Like, if I want to go to London, I'm 23 years old. Yeah, whatever. Go. You know what to do if something bad happens. You know, you can't stop life from happening. You got to take those risks. You know, go. That's fine. But if something did happen, I wouldn't know how to deal with it because I've never had that experience. You know, if I wanted to go, say if I wanted to go to a football match. Say if I wanted to vlog it, I want to make a vlog, right? I want to take a holiday. I want to do a vlog. I want to take a trip to Manchester, and I want to see Manchester United play at Old Trafford. That's the dream I've wanted to do for ages. I've wanted to make a vlog going to Old Trafford forever, and I would want to vlog from leaving the house, to get into the train station, to get into London, to get in on the airport, to fly into Manchester, to get into the stadium, to staying at the hotel, to going the next day, to watching the match. But I wouldn't know how to, I don't know how fucking trains work. If a fucking train comes by, is this the train coming? Because I've never gone on a train by myself. And stuff like that. Some stuff can be pretty damaging, because you need to sometimes let people experience life for the bad, or not particularly where it's definitely you hope something bad happens to them, but to the point where you hope that if something bad does happen, that they're taught properly the right way to deal with it. Like, for example, if you're in London, don't put your wallet in your back pocket because it's easy to get pickpocketed. Stuff like that. Try not to look like you're lost, so you get cornered by people. Always look like you know where you're going. Little stuff like that you pick up. Sometimes it's okay. You need to protect people from the stuff that they need to learn. They need to learn from the mistakes. Sometimes you need to stop them from causing harm to themselves that is not viable for them to do. For example, things that could endanger their life and their health and their well-being. But sometimes you need to just let people experience stuff. I think that's one thing I've learned. But it's difficult. I'm not a parent. I don't have a kid. I don't have a child. I don't What would I do in that situation? I don't know what I'd do. But, you know, it'll be stuff like, because, you know, I said to my granddad once, I said, you know, I wanted to go to this, but, you know, I wouldn't be able to, because, and he said, yeah, well, yeah, all you do is take the bus here, take the train here, take the tube, go through here. And it's so simple, but, you know, because that's how we dealt with his kids, you know, just as long as you know what you're doing, you'll be fine. But, you know, what would I do in that situation? I don't know. So it's very easy to criticise now, but it's difficult in that situation. But sometimes I think you need to put your fears aside and maybe put for the benefit of the person. So if you have a kid, or say you're a bloke and you got a girl, and, you know, she's going by herself to a city and you're a bit worried, like, oh, what if something happens? You know, sometimes they just gotta do stuff on their own. They're adults. They got to experience life, and they gotta do stuff to they got to do stuff for themselves without you. But, you know, from my experiences, I have been protective in those situations. I'd be like, I wouldn't want them to go by themselves somewhere like that, because I'd be like, oh, what if something fucking happens? And you know, that can be seen as sweet, or that can be seen as really nice, but sometimes it can be damaging. I don't know. Just talking from my experiences of being sheltered a lot, and not being able to experience those types of experiences. Like, I got a funny story. Me, Matty, and some people who I know from this thing called Games Workshop, which is this place that you can buy miniatures, and it has benches inside where you can cut your miniatures, you can glue them together, you can paint them. It's very nerdy, but I really enjoy it. I enjoy the painting aspect and stuff like that, and I don't understand the rules, but when I play the game, I enjoy it. And you can play games in there. They have like tables set up where you can play. So, you know, if you're willing to spend an arm and a leg, to be fair, if you're willing to spend an arm and a leg to, you know, paint miniatures and stuff like that, I recommend it. You know, at least the one I go to, Kev, he's really nice, really helpful, and he's really approachable, and he's always willing to help. Real good guy. But that's just besides the point. That's Games Workshop. We all know this. I know these people from this sort of circle. We went to. I mean, I went there because I wanted to hang out with them. I wanted to have a good time and just hang out. And we went to Islington to watch this band, Demons and Wizards, which is like a metal band. I'm not that into metal music, but I was enjoying it until I realised how packed it was. Basically, the problem was it wasn't air conditioned, and it was inside, and it was such a large venue, but there was so many people there. It was so hot. I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't understand how people were wearing fucking black shirts in there. I was like, are you fucking mental? But if you I guess if you're enjoying the music, you just don't give a fuck. But I had to get outside every 5 minutes, and I left early because I was just feeling sick because of the heat. But and bear in mind, this is a year ago, and I'm pretty embarrassed telling this story, but I'm going to tell it for the benefit of perhaps education and how not to make your son look stupid, okay? So, my mum ended up saying, oh, and this is how she explained it to me, oh, I'll just I'm going up there to see your dad because my dad's working there. Was there for like a training course for his work because he's a manager there, and he and he had to stay in a hotel there. So their mum was like, oh, I'll go. I'm coming. I'll go there too because we just meet up and that. I was like, okay, expecting to keep the distance. No, she fucking stayed in the same carriage next to me. Followed us till we got to KFC, and then by the time we got to KFC, like my dad was there. My dad was following us. You know, followed us through the tube station, through everything, through Angel. It was mortifying. I can tell you, it was mortifying, and I've still not heard the end of it. Although I joke about the end, the jokes about it are fine. I don't mind the jokes about it. It was just mortifying. I was like, oh fucking hell. Like, and the reason the jokes don't seem that bad to me. Sorry about that, I heard shouting and I was wondering what the fuck's going on. So basically, the reason I don't mind the jokes is because even if they weren't saying the jokes, I would know what they're thinking anyway. And it's just so mortifying to be in that position. So whatever you do not do that. Okay? Do not do that. Okay? Please, I beg it. If you have a child, right? If you have a child, it is much better to just... I'd say it's better to not let them go than to put them through that. If I'm honest, if I'm completely honest. If you are going to do that, just fucking don't follow them. Keep your distance. It's either one or the other. Or fucking let them go. Like, don't do that, because it is fucking mortifying as a 23-year-old man because we were running to the place to get something to eat because we didn't want to be late for the first opening. So we ran there. How mortifying is it to just go, James, and I go yeah, and they go, they're running, they're following us. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Because at the end of the day, I probably would have rather have stopped and got stabbed at that moment and point than that happening to me. That was fucking mortifying. But you look back on it and laugh at the end of the day. But don't do it. It's not worth. It's not worth it. Fucking yeah. Anyway, this has been, I think, long enough, about 53 minutes. I'm going to try and put some music in the background. I'm going to start trying editing some videos. I'll try and make another podcast at some point. But it's been fun. I feel a lot better just talking, putting out my thoughts. I like giving advice to people because not because I want people to think I'm enlightened or I know more stuff, but I like to think that I'm helping someone. And maybe that is selfish. Maybe that does make me feel like I want to be more enlightened and I know more than you. But I don't think so. I think I just, at the end of the day, I want to kind of just give people. I want to help people. If someone wants help with something and they need advice for something, I'm always enjoying helping them out because I always want to feel like I'm making a positive impact on someone, if possible. So, yeah, I've got to figure out what to call this podcast. I guess you'll see it in the title, and I'll probably call it that at the beginning of the video, like "Welcome to the fucking depressive podcast," or whatever the fuck it's going to be called. Yeah, and we'll see what that's like. But leave some feedback below if you enjoy it, if anyone watches it. I'll be interested to know. Yeah, I hope you're all having a good day. It's warm outside, really warm. Do tell on my hair. I'm a little sweating, just a little bit, a little glisten. If I had a nice body, I'd be sexy right now, but I'm not. I just look like I've had a bit of a vindaloo. But yeah, fuck, it is hot out there. I'm enjoying nice water out the fridge. See you guys later. Bye bye.